So I promised AJ I would take 10 minutes. So all those things, I've got a problem. Some of you know my problem. I like things so much. I've got too many things. That's my problem. So I like the flute. So I brought one flute, but and I like bees. I've got lots of bees. You can come and look at the bees afterwards. I don't know what everybody else brought, but AJ said, bring your favorite things. So I brought a flute, and I brought some bees. So they're my favorite things, after my wife and my family. So, yeah, what's the important thing? What determines, let me ask you a question. If you've been listening to Father speak, you know the answer, so don't rush. But what determines the ownership of something, these things that we have, all those things? Somebody else, because you know it, I'm sure. Give someone else a chance. And then if nobody else volunteers, then you can tell them. Come on, one of the younger ones, what determines ownership of something? What's the right of ownership?
If you pay a price, maybe.
If you pay a price? Any other offers? There you are. All right. And that's what you were going to say, yeah. It's how much you love it. So I would have brought the Peace Garden with me, but I couldn't bring that. But I love that place, and it feels like home as well. So, and I feel like it's mine because I invested so much into it. I don't physically have the right to it. I don't have the deeds to it. It's public land. But, I know. I was just saying the other day, I was telling someone a story a long time ago. When I go to the spirit world, I'm going to spend my first 1,000 years being a black person. I told Auntie, your mum, Rosemary, this, and she said, oh no, my spirit world's going crazy, she said. And I think the next 1,000 years I'll spend in the Peace Garden. That's my... Because we want to be where we love. We want to be with the people that we love, So, and we want to reach out to the people that we love. And ownership of things is determined by love. So in fact, you can be a poor person, physically speaking, not much money, but because you love many things and you take care of many things, you actually own those things. So I had this experience a while ago when I was in Germany, when we had the center in Schmitten, when we had that place in Schmitten. I went to the little shop down the road there, and I went in the shop, and I saw this beautiful bonsai tree in the shop. And, I love bonsai trees as well, you see. And I thought, I'd like to buy this bonsai tree, you see. But I can't take it back with me, because you can't take it on the plane. It's really awkward and things. But I thought, I know, I'll buy it, and I'll give it to the couple that were the center leader. What's his name? Peter Meyer, yeah, and his wife. So I bought the tree, and I felt so happy that I could buy this because I loved it. I wanted it. I really wanted it. So what better way to keep the ownership of something than to give it away when you give it to somebody? And also that creates some special relationship. So when we appreciate something and love something, we can also give it away. And then if the person receiving it can get the same heart, they can appreciate it as well. So it was with this flute. This is one of my cheaper flutes. I brought it because it's plastic. So I bought it in Dublin when I was in Dublin. And I bought it because it's a Tony Dixon flute. It's not an expensive one. It's a beginner's flute, Irish flute for beginners. And David Rennie had said to me he'd like to learn the Irish flute. So I thought, I'll buy it for David Rennie. And a little bit of a joke as well, because it's Tony Dixon. I thought he's got a Tony Dixon guitar. He can have a Tony Dixon flute as well. But it turned out, the holes are quite wide apart, and he has smaller hands. So it was difficult for him to play. So he gave it back to me. So it returned to me. But now, when I play this flute, and when I take out this pen, well, not that pen, another pen. Oh, I don't have it with me. I think of David, So things also remind us of people, So David gave me a pen one Christmas time, I think it was. So that pen is special, This flute is special, even though it's a cheap flute. It's a handy flute because you can take it anywhere and you don't have to worry about it getting broken, but also it reminds you of somebody. So, sometimes the most insignificant thing, maybe someone gave you one of these origami birds or something. But because they gave it to you and they had a certain heart when they give it to you, it doesn't matter about the physical value of the gift. If there's a relationship between you and the person who's giving the gift or the person receiving the gift, the gift takes on infinite value. So Father talked about this, didn't he, as well? Not just about love and things, but what you associate things with. So he said, if you could own something belonging to a great person, you would treasure that, So if any of us have something that was given to us by Father, it's very special because it reminds us of him. I've got a little picture of Father at home with one hair from Father's head clipped to the back that someone gave me. It's kind of very special, I've got something physically of Father's, So things are not just things. They're whatever value we give them. And the other thing Father said about this is when we use something, when we use it with the right heart, when we use it for its original purpose, but also connect that purpose with the love of God, then the thing can actually take on great value, So even the bees, if I keep the bees and share the honey with you, the honey's very special then because it's coming from my bees, So many people enjoy Bateman's honey, but it's the bees' honey really, it's not mine. So I've got one, it's been 10 minutes now, is it? No, not yet, not quite. I've got one trick I want to share with you. And for me, I'll just wind back a bit. Thinking about what AJ was saying and what we learned from. I was listening to what can be our teacher, I was listening to a TED talk, or TEDx talk, just yesterday, actually. And there was this musician, and he played a piece of music. And he said, it was a piece of Bach. And he said, in this music is everything. He said, the whole universe is in this music. I thought that's really profound. I wonder if I can find the universe in that piece of music. Because I listen to it, it's just a piece of music. But he listens to it from a technical point of view, that he's a musician and he can understand the intricacies of it. And he says the whole universe is in this music. And of course, Father said you can find the universe in anything. In any, in a small bug, you can find the universe. So I feel the same way about the pledge. When we read the pledge, I feel we don't need anything else, any more teaching. Actually, you just got to read the pledge. Just study the pledge. It tells you everything there. It tells you everything of what you can and should be, I think it's great. It's fantastic. So when I don't know about you, sometimes we get up and we just recite it. We just say the words. But do you think about the words as you're saying them? Do you think about the meaning of the words? And always I'm impressed with the beginning and the ending particularly, but all the in-between is not just filling. It's important as well. But everyone begins, my family, as the owner of Chanilguk. You're the owners. You're the owners of heaven. You're the ones who own it and create it and spread it. And it always ends centering on true love. So how can we center on true love? And this is where the trick comes in, I think. For me, this is my trick anyway. I'll just share it with you. And it's very simple. I'm building it up, but you think, oh, is that all it is? But it is very simple. And it can easily be done with things. Because somehow the things in our life, the things of creation, are what God's created for us. Because we're the lords of creation, yeah? Or should be. If we've got God dwelling in us. So do you know what the connecting point is? How we can connect. and bring God right into our life. And this is my personal experience. Come on, I'll give you a chance first. Anyone else? Anyone got what they think it might be? Sorry? How do you bring God right into your life, right here, right now? Of course, yeah. There you are. Did you hear that? Sorry, appreciation. Sorry? Our attitude, yeah. So appreciation is close to what I want to say. I was going to say gratitude. Is that what you just said? Or you didn't say attitude, you said gratitude. You have to have an attitude of gratitude. Yeah. They rhyme and it makes it very clear. Yeah, for me, let me put this thing down. For me, that's the key. When I drive down the street and I see the trees in leaf, and my immediate thought is thank you. I'm feeling towards God, thank you. I feel grateful. Or when you breathe and you feel you're alive, I feel thank you. You know, when I have a good experience, I say thank you. So I've lost count how many times during the day I say thank you. I feel grateful. And the more I feel grateful, what happens? If AJ gives me something and I say thank you to him, joy. What else happens? How does AJ feel when I say thank you to him? How do you feel? Thank you, AJ. He feels good, yeah. But he might want to give me more because I'm grateful for him, mightn't he? Oh, thanks. I really enjoyed that lasagna you made, you know. Oh, I'll make it again for you. Come on over again, you know. And so it is with God. Don't you think it's the same with God? When you say thank you to God, God said, well, thank you, you know, for appreciating me. And then he wants to give you more. But what does he want to give you more of? It's not just physical things. Physical things are like the bonus on the end, the trimming on the cake. You know, we spend all our lives, or some people spend all their lives chasing money. And I heard a lot of people who are into, you know, how to make money and stuff like this. And they all say the same thing. If you chase money, it'll run away from you. Because it's actually just the icing on the cake. It's not the purpose of life. Money gives you security. If you already feel secure, do you really need the money? Well, yeah, of course you do. You need it to buy things and stuff. But if you've got what's important in life, anything else that comes is like trimming on the icing on the cake, you know, trimmings, extras. So that's the way I feel. I feel very grateful for my life. I feel very grateful for all the things I can have. I feel grateful that I can keep bees, that I can play music, that I can have some flutes, you know. I feel grateful for my home. And, you know, I haven't particularly looked for comfort in my life. Well, yeah, comfort in my life. But I find, actually, I've got it already, you know. But the point is, whatever our circumstances, if we can be grateful, if we can find a point of gratitude, we can connect it with God. So even in adversity, just about say that, even when things are difficult, if we can find the thing, like AJ was saying, to learn from the situation, we can actually be grateful for the difficulty. I often struggled with this. Father used to say, you should be grateful for your difficulties. You should even welcome difficulties. Oh, I'm not sure I want to do that, you know. But actually I find now when difficulties come, difficult situations come, I can see it's not, you know, it's a challenge, but it's an opportunity and it's a chance for me to grow, you know. So if we can be grateful, this is what I want to leave you with today. The most important thing, if we can be grateful, even in situations where it's not easy to be grateful, there is actually always something to be grateful about. There's always something. So I hope you can think about that. today, this week, this month ahead. We're at the beginning of a month as well. Let gratitude be your guiding theme. When things are difficult this month, think, what can I be grateful for? What's there that I can really say thank you for? Thank you.